what is it I'm after? Um,
Exactly.
so when
Exactly.
I really sat and thought about that and was just focusing on myself and not what he was or was not doing, whatever the case was, it's like, well, okay, I'm not going to get anywhere with this if I don't understand what it is, what my intent is, right?
Exactly. Clarity of intent always
Yeah.
comes back to that. See, step
Yes,
one,
it
step one, step one.
absolutely did. And once I sat and solidified that and just went, okay, yeah, this is exactly what I need, what I'm looking for.
Yeah,
Then I thought about, okay, well, what's he looking for? Well, he doesn't know.
yeah,
He has no idea.
yes,
So then I got to
yeah,
realizing, well, maybe it's my job, like you said, to guide, not to teach, to guide.
yes. Just to water
Yeah,
and make space for the growing. That's the thing. Don't overwater. Yeah.
right, exactly. Well, and
Most
that
parents
stuck
don't.
with me.
They don't get this. They end up overwatering. Yeah.
Yeah, that stuck with me. And then I thought, well, okay, if I were to apply this to say, like the reason why I used narcissist was, of course, because number one was the book. Number two, though, was primarily because we never know what somebody is or isn't. We just know that we're facing someone with some really difficult, challenging beliefs and behaviors, and you know, it's not up to me to say who they are or aren't. I just know
Right.
that thing challenges me.
Right.
Um, so then it's up to me to do something. It's not up to them.
Yeah.
I felt like I really had made a firm understanding of that right there, where when I said, okay, I don't know what I'm fighting against.
Yeah.
Um,
Yeah.
so I had to understand. I had to understand all of it. And then that's when it kind of really clicked with me 100% that understanding it's not what we know, and it's not what we don't know. It's understanding what our intent is. Like you said, clarity of purpose. It goes right back to that.
Yes.
So,
Yes.
and our goofy emotions can stand right in front of us and we don't know it.
Yeah.
It can, when we're not really, and that's why I use the word distorted, because sometimes my emotions can
Uh,
feel as though they distort things. Um, so I have to be really careful of that. Well, then to top all of this off, I had a dream about this post last night, the one that we're talking about now. And it was a bizarre dream. I had never had one like this before, where,
oh.
yeah, with it, for whatever reason, I assumed that the person who was responding to my post was a male. And the way they had written it, they were not calling me outright a narcissist, and they weren't saying that I wasn't. They were just making an inference, basically. And what their response to my post was this: was that pay attention to the the body language, the facial expression, the appearance. Pay attention to all of these different signs and to the words that I'm saying, because this would be a very good example of who is a um, somebody who's icy, who's cold, who's trying to be benevolent and say that they're sharing, but what is it they're sharing? What's their message?
Wow.
I know. So it's like, what the hell was that about?
Wonderful. Wonderful.
And,
Wow.
and here I was, and I was thinking when I woke up, it's like, wait a minute. I know that I've never read anybody who wrote anything of that nature about anything that I've ever written or done a video on or shared.
Yeah.
Um, and then I was thinking about the dream, and it's like, okay, do I remember what I felt? Um, the only
Mm.
thing I felt was a little bit of surprise, and then I felt kind of matter of fact, like, well, okay. I don't feel one way or the other about it. This person's impression. It's nothing but their take on what I wrote. And then it's like, do I feel bothered? Why would I be upset if somebody was calling me saying, hey, this is what I see? Well, that would just be their perception, not mine.
Yeah, and it's a gift. Any feedback is a gift, always, right?
Yeah, but I thought how strange that I would dream something like that. And it was very specific about this post.
The one that you posted yesterday.
Yes,
So,
this
so,
very post.
so in the dream, somebody was giving you feedback on the post.
Yes.
Wow, what was their feedback?
Well, yeah, that what I just described to you, that they said that people should pay attention to my body language, my facial expressions, my tone of voice, the words that I'm using, because it's very indicative of somebody who's trying to share a benevolent message, but are they really, or are they just trying to trick you? Are they trying to fool you?
Brilliant, 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 brilliant.
Well,
Well,
okay, then
think about
explain
that.
it to me because it left me confused as hell.
Okay, so the person in your dream is saying to others, yes,
Yes, yes,
yeah, they're saying, okay, listen, well, it could be me. All right, so let's assume I made a post in group and I said to group, hey, pay attention to Sher's post, which I actually kind of did do that, right? And
yeah,
I
yeah,
said to everybody in the group, I say, pay attention to Sher's post and pay attention uh, to her communication here, right? To pay attention to what did they all say? Your body language, your tone of voice, your rhythm, your pattern. In other words, capital
yes.
H, yeah,
Oh,
sure, and say, okay, this is somebody who is posting a good post, right? On the
yeah,
surface, it would seem that way, right?
yes, yes, on the
Now,
surface.
right, right. On the surface, it seems that way. So now, is it that way? This is what we're looking to determine. Yeah,
Mm,
that was the deeper message. Yeah,
yeah, yep.
right. Okay, so it's the same way as you taking a stand. Yes,
Yeah, you're right.
it's the same thing. You're
You're
looking
right.
to understand intent. Now, if I said this to the group and they actually did this and they capital H yeah you, well, what are they going to find? That it is what it is. In your case, you're doing something good and your intentions are good and it's all good, right? So
Yes,
so this compare this to what you wrote about. And this is exactly what I was getting excited about. And the point that I made, right?
yes.
Because what you wrote about is somebody who is not coming through like you. Yeah. So you become the baseline.
Oh,
You see?
the
So
ambiguous type
when
of
I'm
person.
right, so when somebody's been like they seem all nice and they're doing everything that's nice and everything that's right, but I don't have the same feeling that I get when I read Sher's post, which is like, well, she's doing this because she wants to help and be nice and share and just do everything good. And I just have that. Well, yeah, okay, sure, great, wonderful. I might not be at this particular moment receptive for your message because it doesn't apply in my world, but uh, I see what you're doing. I like what you're doing, and even though it doesn't necessarily apply to me, cool. I know where you are at, right?
Yes,
I know
yes.
where you're coming from. So I can use this to compare to that vague and fuzzy to say, you know what? I have no idea what is it that's bothering me about you, or I'm not even bothered. I'm just like, mm, I don't have the sheer feeling.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. Okay.
It's the absence sometimes. There's not a direct negative you can put a feeling on, but
Right.
there isn't that clearness that, well, okay, this is not sure, right?
Okay. Yes, okay, okay. And that actually, I have done some writing like that where I had a point to make, but it just wasn't coming through. There was no feeling to it. It was just teaching. It was just saying things verbatim instead of, really sharing. I felt yesterday like what I wrote was deep sharing. And
Yes,
I was
it was.
trying I
It
was trying
was.
really hard to express,
Yes, yes,
that I was trying
yes,
to describe that
yes,
fuzziness.
yes.
Okay, good.
Exactly. Exactly. So that's what made the post so powerful because you were, I could feel you using this, working this, applying the stuff, and you were demonstrating your understanding and on something that's difficult to articulate.
Yes, it is.
So it
Yes,
was
it
great. It was great. And that's why I made
completely.
that summary there. So I was so excited. I said, you pulled that Mornis because this is not
Okay.
something I don't think it's in the book or in the course to say, yes, I say, pay attention, pay attention to intent and, all sorts of ways to identify this. But
Right.
you picked up on something which is a very interesting sub point, and that is to say, yeah, but what about when it's not very clear? And that was the magic of your point. That's my takeaway there. Right? Well, it's really a repeat back, is
It
to
is.
say,
It is.
you know, that very point that it's not, and then your dream, it's not the clarity of someone like Sher. Here's my
Yes.
my yardstick. This is just meat and potatoes goodness. Well,
Okay.
you're not.
And so
See?
maybe in my dream, that's what the person was saying was, hey, you pulled out, you described the fuzziness, and this is what we need to pay attention to is when we get to feeling that way and we're not certain, it's still okay. It's still okay to be uncertain.
Absolutely. It's okay to be uncertain. And that's the point that I also made in my comment, right?
You did.
That
You did.
we need to be able to say, eh, it's all fine and well what you're saying. Everything comes across so good and helpful, but, sorry, I don't
Yeah.
have a good reason for you. I don't need a good reason.
Right. Right. Okay. All right.
the
Well, that
fact
makes
that
sense.
I'm doubtful about having a good reason, this is reason enough. Yeah. In other
Yeah.
words, if I'm not responding to somebody the way I would say to the people in the group, well, here's your baseline. Sure. Okay. I don't have this like, yeah, whatever, sure. You see? Okay. Some people read your article. It's interesting.
Hmm.
And I say, wow, this is cool. And you see my point? None of them are going, what the hell is Sure up to?
Yeah.
Right? When I ask, like if I were to ask people in group, oh, well, I never thought about it. Exactly. I never
Yeah.
thought what Sher was up to, but now that you ask me, well, she's making a post, she's sharing, and she's being happy, she's doing things for her own reasons. They'll probably come up with a bunch of different reasons why you do what you do, but none of them will be negative. Correct?
Right. Right.
Right.
Yeah.
You
And
see,
that's
you
what I'm
see what
saying.
I'm trying to say though, when we have a contrast between the usual and this, that's you have a little bit of fuzziness, you don't know what.
Yeah.
And you look, the fact that you're looking for a reason, that's enough. So but we can easily override that, and our sense of fairness says, yes, but am I not treating this person harshly? Am I not being unfair and assuming that they're negative? I have no idea what they're doing. That's the
Yeah.
point. I have no idea.
Okay. All right. And that could
That's the
very
point. I
easily,
have
yeah.
no idea. They could be up
Yeah.
to bloody anything. So it's trust without trusting.
Okay.
That's
That's where it comes
what
down
you
to.
are writing about, is exactly why we need to have trust without trusting. In other words, trust suspiciously.
Yep. Yep. Okay. That makes a whole lot of sense.
I think it's in the book there, the trust suspiciously. I
Yes.
don't know.
Yeah, I believe
Yeah.
it is, but it does, it makes a ton of sense because,
It makes all the difference in the world.
and
Makes
it,
all the difference in the
well, and
world.
it ties it into what I was thinking about yesterday too, of, okay, how can I approach and make today, a little bit the same or a little bit different than yesterday for
Yeah.
CJ. So
Yeah. Yeah.
yesterday we had a semi-successful day. Um,
Oh, good. Oh,
Tried
good.
to debate me
Oh,
all day long, and I stood my ground. I did
oh,
not
good.
budge.
Oh, good.
I
Oh,
I
good.
didn't give in. I didn't. take any of the bait. I was just like, yep, okay, you know.
You were
And
tight. You were tight. You were tight, in other
very,
words. Yeah.
very, yep,
Yeah,
very.
yeah. See,
And I was writing
the
about
power
this.
of this tightness, it is the power of neutrality.
Yeah,
Yes.
it is. It
This
truly
is
is.
it. This is, and it's the same exact same point that you're going to deal. I mean, your person you're writing with could just as well be CJ, right?
Yes,
And that's
yes,
not necessarily some, a BMN with negative intents, but you don't know what the hell's going on in his head. And the
right.
same way, and this is where your tightness comes in, and your trust without trusting. Now, in CJ's case, there's the trust is on the there's more trust than not trusting, right?
Uh-huh.
But still, you have to deal with CJ at the moment because he's been threatening,
Yeah.
and is in a state of flux that he may do something stupid. You know
Mm-hmm.
that this is not who he really is, but that doesn't mean anything. Yes.
Yes. Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, it just seemed like the more I dug in yesterday and just kind of basically kept standing my boundaries, going up, telling myself inwardly that nope, 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 I'm not going to take this. I'm not going to do the bait.
Yeah.
Um, he started to actually just slow down on it because it was kind of almost like cut off the energy and they get bored and drop off, you
Yeah.
know.
Yeah. Yeah.
Um,
Yeah.
so I am, by and large, I am definitely of the mindset that I'm treating this at, I don't know, like you said, what he's doing, what he's about, what's going on. Um, so okay, I just proceed accordingly. We've got this to do and this to do and this to do. Let's get it done. Um, so I I'm hoping for today for more of the same, you know.
Yeah. Yeah.
Um, but I
Yeah.
really do like that,
Yeah.
thank you for that reminder that it is okay to be uncertain about all of this.
Oh,
So
absolutely,
I don't
absolutely. Now,
I don't
you
need
know
the answers.
exactly, and it's another reason for going to the hospital. Yes.
Yeah. Yeah.
Now, brain tumors. We're so judgmental, and so often, like I said, with a guy with a knife. That, remember, I told you that incident, right? And I remember
Mhm.
this. I can still even picture it. They had this big circle with all the police cars around. This poor idiot standing with his knife there, waving the knife around. Put the knife down. Put the knife down. Eventually, they just shot him. He's like, just bloody wait, dude. Eventually, he's gonna run out of time and energy after he said all of these things.
Yeah.
It was like, he wasn't actually threatening anybody for real. You know what I mean? He was
Right.
just waving the thing around. It was
Right.
so idiotic. So it was just sad to see this mindless response to threat. And all he needed was a bit of patience and just whatever, dude. Just wait it
Right.
out, just tight, and let it happen.
Mhm.
Um, if he now starts running at one of the police cars, and then you bloody shoot him, okay? If he now
Yeah.
does this, but come on, but
Yeah.
still, get your nets out or do something else. Get a freaking tranquilizer gun. If you're gonna shoot the guy and you say, well, the tranquilizer, maybe we're gonna kill him by using too much tranquilizer. Well, isn't that better than a bullet?
Yeah.
It's the
Yeah.
logic is idiotic. Yeah.
Then there was something else that came up yesterday, when I was going back over some of my notes from on Monday, and just kind of observing. Yesterday was a big day of observation. Um, so I thought about it.
Another power to trusting without trusting and being tight. The tighter we are, the more we observe.
Oh, okay. Yeah. See, well, yeah, because we're not busy responding or reacting, right? So we
Mm,
observe more. Okay.
exactly. You've made, through the tightness, you've made space for things to come to you.
Okay. Yeah, that
This is
makes
what we
sense.
want. So tightness is incredible in its power. Incredible in its power. That's exactly, you in your writing your article, you were coming from that perspective, right?
Yes.
It's very, very,
Yes.
very, very cool.
Tightness brings observation. Okay. So I thought it was interesting. I had a brief moment, it didn't last that long, um, of, okay, well, what were others noticing about me before I started changing a little bit getting more vulnerable in my writing, or I should say, I don't
Yeah,
like the word vulnerable, more authentic, more
yeah,
real
yeah.
about my writing. Um,
Wonderful, wonderful,
and
wonderful,
I
wonderful.
wondered, okay, I know that how I was writing was as a result of, trying to hide basically um, the effects of my upbringing. Okay, I know I was trying to cover that up for a while. And I knew that I went through a period of needing to be seen and heard, of getting my story out there, of getting my um, all that junk out, basically.
Yeah,
But then
yeah,
I got to thinking, it's like, well, were others put off because they didn't know how to take me? They didn't know how to
yeah,
accept me. And I
yeah.
thought, okay, well, does it matter? Then I asked myself,
Exactly,
really, does it matter? It
exactly,
didn't matter what they thought. What
exactly.
mattered was I trusted my process, and I knew that ultimately
Yeah,
something would come through. Um,
exactly, exactly, exactly.
and so I think by and large, sometimes it still bothers me that thinking that people may have had the impression that, wow, she could really be a narcissist or this, that, or the other thing. But that's none of my business what they
Yeah,
thought.
yeah, 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 yeah.
So um, I knew that that was old thinking that, was trying to creep in. Because at that time I was getting badgered,
Yeah.
by a little 11-year-old when those thoughts were coming through. And it's like, all right, this is related to that.
Yeah, but it's your petty tyrant. It's your gift.
Yeah.
It's your gift. It's your gift.
So, well, because a lot of the things that he's coming up with, it sounds a whole lot like I don't know, like my parents used to, the same way that my ex used to, just
Yeah.
with the constant badgering, belittling, the icky statements, and I just tuned
Oh,
it out.
oh, that's interesting. In other words, CJ is going through the phase of being the bully, being
Yeah,
the BMN. Yes.
yeah,
Wow. What
yeah,
a gift for you. What a gift for you. This is huge, right? So,
yeah.
Donna, I don't know if you were on ever when Donna was sharing about how she would have things come into her life, which are replays of
Yes.
stuff that was before, right?
Oh,
This
very
is a
much so.
constant theme. Well, you're getting a replay. Why? Because you're getting the opportunity to demonstrate to yourself that you can deal with it. It's not
Yeah,
theoretical. It's not
right.
theoretical. Your posts are not theoretical.
No,
Yes.
no,
You're
they are
getting
not.
the demonstration here and you're
Yeah.
getting it in a benign way. How much more gentle could the universe not be with you? To say, if you're going to have to relive this in order to demonstrate to yourself that you can deal with it, that you have learned, you have grown, you have changed. It's one thing to believe it inside your mind and your head, but until you get that self-proof, actually dealing with a BMN, dealing with nastiness, dealing with pettiness, whatever, right? Until you actually can deal with it, you won't know for sure, right? It's just a
Yeah.
belief. Yeah. Now
Yes.
you're getting the opportunity to prove to yourself, but you're getting it in the most possible gentlest way. You're getting the itsy bitsy teeniest weeniest little petty trivialist tyrant that you possibly can. Correct?
Yes. Yes, absolutely.
I mean, it
Absolutely.
just just the love and compassion and the gentleness of the universe. It's like, I mean, how do we do this for sure now that we can do this? Okay, we did the neighbors, we did the landlord a little bit, but it's not quite
Yeah.
the same thing,
Yeah.
because because there she's sort of, if they were starting to do this, she just up and leave. You
Yeah.
know what I mean? It's like,
Yeah.
I don't need to take this crap from you, but you do need to take the crap from CJ. Yes.
I do. I do.
You see,
And
you see the magic. You see the magic. It's what I said to you before. When you start looking at CJ as a capital G gift for you, for your
yeah.
awareness, your growth, your change, your proof of change. This is
Yeah.
incredible. You breaking, centuries of patterns of conditioning and being, and stuff that's stuck in your DNA and in your brain. You're breaking all of this. You're breaking
Yes.
all of this, not
Yes.
just for you, but it's the generational pattern, because you're seeing the same crap loop through. right? So
Yes.
it's important to understand that you are also CJ, right? At some
Yeah.
point in your
Yeah.
life, you were doing the same crap. It was done to you, and you did it to whoever. Yes.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
So,
Absolutely.
so this is very important to realize you're breaking this generational cycle of BMNness, of crap and nonsense, and victimness and complaining, and all the shit that's underneath there. Right. This
Uh-huh.
is it. That's why the only way to deal with it is tightness.
Yeah.
The only way. You can't say, look, this is no good. I know they're in a bubble. It doesn't matter how much you may even prove it's wrong. They're not in a
Exactly.
space of having a debate. It
And
is
this,
not. It's not an option, right?
what it's not. And what you just said was what I have been trying to learn, because I remember months ago, you had shared with me how you deal with BMNs in your space, people that you've had to work with, talk to, etc. And you told
Oh,
me
I
it
don't
was,
remember this. Oh, this is
yeah,
exciting.
and it stuck with me because it's like, God, I want to do that. Because you talked to me about cueing. You said you did this through cueing them and
Yeah,
helping guide and direct their thoughts
yeah,
to a
yeah,
different place,
yeah,
basically. So then you could tolerate being around them.
yeah,
Whereas other
yeah.
people couldn't, you could.
Yeah.
And it's like, all right, that's a gift, and I would like to know how.
It is. It is. It's a gift is not the word. It's a skill. There's a
It's a
difference.
skill. Okay.
Yeah. I mean,
Right.
it's like capital D diplomacy. It is part of capital D diplomacy, and
Yes.
it's a skill. Capital D diplomacy, like communication, or more or skills, but they're also arts.
But
It,
that's
it's
when
the
you
same
told me
thing.
about it. We were
Yeah.
going through the diplomacy course. Um,
Right. Right.
and
Right.
that's when you brought it up, because I remember I had
Yeah.
asked about it, and you told me specifically it was through queuing. And it's like, okay, I don't understand that. We'll get to that.
Yeah. Yeah.
Um, and I
Yeah.
still have not understood. I mean, I understand queuing, but I don't believe that I've learned it as well as I'd like to. Um,
Yeah. Yeah.
because
Yeah.
I'm sure that I cue the negative behaviors from him.
You might sometimes. Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
And,
Absolutely. Absolutely.
like I said, I'm pretty sure that I do. And it could just be from a response, from a facial expression, because I know I've got a super expressive demeanor.
Yeah.
Um,
Yeah. Yeah.
so
Another
it's
reason
hard to
for
say.
tightness. Yeah.
Yeah.
So
Okay.
in the case of CJ psychology,
Yes.
hypersensitivity, in other words, right?
Yeah.
This hypersensitivity is going to be cued by anything that is remotely critical, which is again why your tightness. Now you say yes, but how can I not be critical of crap behavior? See, that's the problem. It's this default of sort of surface logic. On the
We
surface,
should.
you say,
Yeah.
but
I've
I
got that
should
should
be,
stuck.
I should be critical of bad behavior.
There you go. That's in my head. That's stuck in my head, that I should be fixing this. And that's the term that comes into my head. Why can't I fix this? That's the
Exactly,
thinking. Okay.
exactly. But you are fixing it by being tight.
Okay.
So
Do we
this
want
is
to use the
key.
word fix though?
Well, but that's the point. Okay, we won't. I don't care for this word fix, as you know, but
Right. And
but
I don't
that's
either.
but put that fixing in inverted commas, right? Because it's like that's the helping. When we say, the program is called hearing and helping, but yet we, at the moment you start, you say, well, you know what, get rid of all your ideas of helping. When you actually try to help, you're going to make it worse.
Okay.
But as we go through later, and you say, if you really want to help, hear somebody, but I'm not
Okay.
doing anything. But I'm not doing anything. You are doing something. You are
Right.
hearing them, and
And
your
what I
hearing
hear,
them helps them. Right. So we have to change how we help. We help by not making it worse. We help by making space. That's why making space is it's the other huge module, right? There's those two
yes,
huge modules, hearing and making space.
Yes.
By hearing, I make space. I make space for them to resolve. I make space for them to come to see their own crap and nonsense. They already know it's there, but they're going through the motions because they're acting on should. They're acting on instinct. Yes. It's like the
Okay.
animal trapped in the fence, and I'm trying to help the animal get out of the fence. Well, they're going to bite me. And so I've got to find other ways to deal with this animal trapped in the fence.
Okay. Okay.
Basically,
Yeah.
give them time to realize they are trapped in the fence. And when they're like really desperate, and okay, now I can approach them because, well, they're also but hungry and tired. Like, okay, but the more you come closer trying to help, the more frantic they get. Yes.
Yes.
See, so
Yes. Yes.
so understand this is the power of tightness. I'm just sitting there chilling. I'm in other words, because also if you're friendly and they're suspicious of your friendliness, then it doesn't matter, right?
Right. Right.
So the tightness, they see, well, they don't really care. And that's it. So you're cueing that it's one way or the other, I'm tight. So now, because I'm getting no cues from you to feed me, any
Right.
positive cue feeds the paranoia, the suspicion, the doubts, correct?
Yeah. Okay. So my tightness might be in other words, maybe I'm doing it, but I'm not probably applying it fully in a appropriate way.
Tightness is a very difficult thing to accomplish, right? And
He
it's a
takes it as
skill to be learned, right?
right
So
because
once
what
you
he
get it,
takes it as is I'm ignoring or avoiding or all the other negative things. Okay,
yeah,
great. You're not going to answer me. I get it. I see. I'm not worthy of answering. You know how that
yeah,
goes. And I'm
yeah,
like, oh, for the love of God.
yeah,
Okay.
yeah. So this
Um,
is wonderful. This is absolutely wonderful. To this tightness, it is a power. It is a ridiculous power, and because the like I said, the problem with good intentions are that they can cause problem. It doesn't matter that they're real. If
right.
somebody's in a paranoid state, whatever you do is going to be negative, except tightness.
Oh boy,
See,
is it ever.
all right, and
Everything.
that's the magic, you see, because you now know that every single thing you do is taken as potentially negative, right?
Yes.
Because they cannot afford to trust you, right? They're
Right.
not in that space yet. So
Okay.
so they are applying, trust without trusting, but to an extreme way and in a way that's not the most ideal. Yes.
Mm-hmm.
So understand this. This is why your tightness is an incredible gift because it makes space for them to figure it out. And they can say, well, this tightness, it's not positive, it's not negative. They have nothing to work on. They cannot use you as a source to fuel all the stuff that's going on inside, right? So
Right.
now they have to turn on themselves. You're not feeding them. You're not
Okay.
feeding them. You're not feeding them negativity, which they're going to fight
Okay.
against. You're not feeding them
Okay.
positivity, which they're going to doubt against. Yes?
So can you give me an example of okay, say I give you an argumentative statement, that oh, you're not listening to me. You're ignoring me, go ahead, just don't answer my question. I'm not worthy. So you hear all that and you are going to demonstrate tightness. What would that look like? Just that there, huh?
Oh.
Okay. Okay.
And I don't have to, if anything I say is problematic,
Okay.
but I didn't ignore you. I'm paying attention to you. I'm clearly
Okay.
listening to you. But I don't have any thoughts one way or the other. I can't say yes and because that means that I'm inquisitive and curious.
Okay. Okay.
I'm just
Very
here.
good.
I'm just here. So now we see treeness.
Oh, oh,
Now we see tree. I'm being a tree. I'm not saying go away
okay.
and bugger off and get lost, but I'm not saying I'm interested either. I mean,
Okay.
I'm listening. I'm listening. That's it. I'm hearing you, but I have nothing that I could say.
Okay.
Right?
Even when they
I mean,
make
if
the
you want me
faces
to
go,
respond to something that I can respond to, is this a response-worthy thing? Whatever you said,
all right. Okay.
it's not. It's not response-worthy. And it's not like I'm going to say, well, I'm not being superior or hierarchical to say, well, your crap doesn't deserve a response. No, I
Right,
am being compassionate and considerate to say, I cannot respond because my response causes a problem. So
right, okay.
I'm just being tight and waiting for more. This is it.
Need something that needs a response. Perfect. Okay. I kind of had that impression.
Yeah, yeah,
Um,
yeah.
so that's
That's
something.
the thing. This is the skill, is the skill of not responding as a response.
Okay,
You're not giving, but it's not the silent treatment either, where, well, I'm ignoring you until you behave better. That's
right.
manipulation, right?
Yes,
This
it is.
is openness. This is openness. So they're going to say, it's like, those magic towers in the stories where they don't have a door, right?
Right,
And so, well, how are we supposed to get in here? The quest, the wizard said, the dream said, I have to go and this is where the treasures lied, where I'm going to find my whatever, right? The
right.
magic is inside. But then you have to, you try this, you try that, and nothing works. It's just, the smooth surface. You can't hack it. You can't do anything to it. Your axis or whatever, nothing works, right? But
Okay,
until somebody, eventually you find the key, some, sort of behavior, whatever. But you get there through trial and error. You don't know. The same thing with CJ. He's got this
okay,
tightness and he's getting no response. But it's not negative. It's just nothing. The tower is not being negative to you. You can't get mad at the tower because you can't figure out how to enter it. There's a way. And he knows there's a way too. And so he just has to keep trying till he gets the key, right?
okay, okay. Yes, it's
So
purely
you
neutral.
also want to be tight with false positive behavior.
Yes.
See, if he's coming and he's being all nice just for the purpose of manipulation and whatever, nope, sorry, that's not going to cut it either. Don't try and suck up to me. Don't try and butter me. And this is manipulation again. It gets back to tightness. You see, so
Okay,
it,
okay,
it applies across the board. Across the board. So
okay.
you're not being tight as a punishment. You are
Mm-mm.
being tight as an act of goodness, to say, I'm making space for you to figure it out.
Okay. Oh, I love that statement. Okay.
I'm making space for you to figure it out. You that tower now. You're not positive, you're not negative, you're just tight.
Okay.
Yeah. You want to
I
get into me,
really
you
like that.
bloody well better. And that's the story usually is about all the trials and tribulations now of the aspirant or the group or whatever, how they have to basically up their own game. They have to become more in order to access the tower.
Okay.
Yes.
They do. They do. Absolutely.
Right. Right. It's not
Okay.
that they were necessarily bad. They just have to become capital M more. See?
Yes.
So
Okay.
that's the thing with CJ. He has to learn how to figure this tower out, the tower of tightness. That's it, which is now, sure.
Yeah.
Right.
I
But
want
you're
to share something with
not
you
feeding
really.
the beast.
It's related to this. It's related to this tightness and into what we're talking about, even though it is jumping forward just a bit.
Yeah.
My very specific takeaway for the first slide on module 2 of this PSP was I wrote this. Ouch. I wonder why I'm taking this so deeply. I feel like I am betraying a child by calling out his BS. That's a
Yeah.
deep to stop with right there. And that's what I just wrote. It's just like, nope, I need to stop right there and figure out why I'm
Yeah.
taking. I was literally, when I wrote that last week, I was taking his behavior so personally.
Yes.
Then,
Yes.
then
And
I
to
had to
call it
stop.
out is a betrayal. That's an accurate statement.
Yeah, yes, and it really did feel like one. It's like, oh
Yes.
wow,
Yes. Because
ooh,
all right. So let's say you're a new computer program, right? You're
okay,
an AI that's just come online.
okay,
Yes. You have the power to behave and to think, but you have no database to know what is and isn't appropriate.
oh holy shit, sorry.
Yes, yes, that's the
Okay,
that's the response. Exactly. Holy shit. It's like, man, I never thought of it that way. You know,
My
I
goodness.
have a database of knowing what is and isn't. But you know, when you come to new awareness, this is one thing to have done stuff in a bubble because, well, this is what I'm supposed to do. But now
Yep.
I've become aware and saying, yeah, but wait a second, you know, a lot of the things that I was told to do are crap. So I
Yes.
can't trust
Oh,
that.
exactly. It totally is. I mean, okay,
So the
because
only way I can know is to build my own database. This is where tightness is so powerful. Yes,
yes,
because
yes.
you know, I'm finding that key for the tower. Nope, this doesn't work. Nope, this doesn't work. Nope, this doesn't work. Eventually, of course, it's going to be impeccability, genuineness, you know, realness. All of that's what's going to work. The bottom line.
It's
Right?
like you wrote a sentence that I wrote down word for word in the first module, and it says, "We grow up simply absorbing much that's rubbish, many misbeliefs, faulty beliefs, cockeyed practices, and standards which compromise us as individuals." So
Read that again,
that's
please. Read that again,
okay.
please.
You wrote, "We grow up simply absorbing much that's rubbish, many
Ah,
misbeliefs, faulty beliefs,
yeah.
cockeyed practices, and standards which compromise us as individuals."
Exactly.
That is my
Exactly.
should. That's
Exactly.
where my should is.
And then at some point we become aware,
Yeah,
right? We become a tween.
yeah.
Now that doesn't mean we become a tween when we're actually tweens. We might become a
Right.
tween in, you
When we're
know, in
58,
exactly.
62.
Exactly. This can happen at any time, and it happens multiple times. This is that worldview collapse, essentially, that I talk
Mhm.
about so often, right? When people come to
It
this and
is.
they're not tweens, holy shit, you know, I was like a child. I was in this bubble. I didn't know what the fuck I was doing. I was like completely clueless. And
Yep.
so, of course, if they have egos, it's like, oh, but you know, you really went through that and survived it, and this is very powerful. This is really
Yeah.
cool. So we are still in that space now, though, of saying the same thing with the tween, that I learned all this crap and I cannot trust any of it. So I have to now start afresh and I have to test and see. And that's what's going on. It's testing the validity of behaviors.
Okay, that does make sense, and that connects
Yeah,
largely with me
right,
because
right.
what I can see is this, that he is battling himself. He's battling his old beliefs that he has to be mean and bad and angry just to
Yeah,
make the world. And instead, he's being shown that no, you
yeah,
can be a good person and you can be accepted and you can be loved and you can like yourself too.
exactly,
And things are still going to
exactly,
go great. You know, not
exactly,
everybody is going
exactly,
to dump on you.
exactly,
And that's
exactly.
what he's
Now,
hiding. Okay.
right. So understand that your new AI has no morality whatsoever.
None.
Has none. It's been shown. It's got in its database. Oh, you know what? You should be mean and nasty because, well, that's what superiority paradigm says you should do. This is being
Yep.
good. This is being good is to be mean and nasty. It has
Right.
no morality. It doesn't know because it's a should. This is the power and the ridiculous power and corruption of should, right? That it makes you do horrible things in the name of goodness because of should. Yes.
Yep. Yep.
Yeah. So, but again,
Wow.
but this is why your tightness is so important because the payoff for that behavior, right? BMN logic, you
Yeah.
should do this and you should be mean and nasty. Why? Because it will give you power over another. So the moment you respond, payoff.
Uh-huh. Yep. Okay.
You see, and
That's exactly what I'm cueing then.
this cannot be.
No,
Yes,
exactly. And that's where, well,
right.
maybe that's where it got better, started to improve is because yesterday was a
Absolutely.
lot
When
of
you
fun.
said enough, when you said you got to the end of your tether and you said that's it.
Yep.
That's when you went into tightness in a different way. Yes.
Yes. Yes,
Right.
absolutely I did.
Right. Right.
Absolutely. And now it makes sense. Now
Yeah.
that
You
part
gave
of
it
it makes
space
sense.
for right. So now the stuff could start bouncing. Yes, could
Yeah.
start bouncing. Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
exactly. The way it needs to. The way it
Yeah.
needs to.
Exactly.
Well, that just
Exactly.
makes a lot of sense. It kind of helps put things,
Yeah. Yeah.
into more of a perspective. And,
Yeah.
maybe I'm not, I wasn't stressed over the dream. I just thought it was so bizarre that it's like, wow, okay, I've never dreamt,
You
never.
think about it,
dreamt
it
of-
isn't, it's that beautiful response. It's the
Yeah,
moreness of what we were both saying. It's
yeah.
fantastic. It is fantastic.
I think it's really cool. And it was almost like, my mind was just really deeply
Yeah.
processing it, going,
Now,
okay, this is what
now,
you need.
right now, think of that dream from CJ's point of view.
He
You
can't
you
trust
were dreaming CJ's dream, not yours.
he can't trust it. Is that what you're saying?
Exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Okay.
He doesn't yet have the database with which to know whether this is for real, genuine or not.
Okay.
He is in
Okay.
the exact situation that you were writing about in your article.
Yep.
This is his perspective. Now, you know where you are coming from, but he doesn't. He might say, yeah, but on the surface she's all fine and well, but in other words, he's got a bit of paranoia going on in there.
Yep.
Yes.
Yep. He does. Yeah, he
And
does.
is that appropriate? Yes, it is, because in your case, you know what the answer is, but how many others in his life are there, right? That is, you see.
Yep. Yep. I
So
see it
so
now.
so he has to say, you know what, with you, it all seems fine and well, but I've had this with others, and it turned out not to be all fine and well, right?
Yeah. So
So
that goes
so
back
this
to
is
just
this is
waiting
where
for
your
me to jump in.
tightness is. Your tightness is to say it's about him getting a measure of trust.
Yeah. Okay.
If I keep bouncing off the walls of that tower and not getting anywhere, I know one thing about this tower. I can sure as hell trust it because it doesn't do anything to me,
Okay.
right?
It doesn't leave
So
me and it
so
doesn't scold. Yeah. Okay.
well,
Yeah.
well, in the world of magic and stuff. Okay, let's say that the tower has some little opening. Is this a trap? It
Okay.
could be. See,
Yeah.
the fact that I don't get anywhere, that's what I can trust. The
Okay.
fact that I don't get anywhere, that I get nothing out of it, that's what I can trust. Any little opening and gift it gives me, oh, here we go, here's a start, and then the other people, hey, but, what if this is it? Fuck. You see?
Yeah.
So this is a big problem when we don't have trust. Anything is fuel for the lack of trust.
Okay.
And CJ has had a life now that he's becoming aware that he has no ability to trust as yet. Yes, he
Right.
doesn't have the skills. Doesn't have the skills yet.
Nope.
So until you're confident in your own magic skills and all this, then you can't take any little gap and opening that starts to open up. No, this is just dangerous, right? And this leads
Yeah.
to frustration and anger because you kind of fucked, right?
Yeah.
If you can't
Exactly.
trust, screwed. So this is the gift. Tightness is the most profound gift you can give him. Yes.
Oh,
Now,
this,
again, this
yes.
is, you've got to be careful because tightness says you got to shut your love down too. Yeah.
Yeah. Well, yeah. And that's,
It's tightness. There's
oof.
nothing. It's not positive. It's not negative. It's tightness. You can think of it as positive ruthlessness if you want to. Same thing. It's like, that head nurse or the matron, right?
Yeah. Yeah.
She doesn't hate you, but she doesn't love you either. Now, for some people, that's very scary. But
It is.
but that she's not out to get you. She's not out to be nasty. No, she doesn't care one way or the other. She's doing a job. That's what she cares about.
Yeah.
That's it.
Okay.
She's taking care of what needs to be done. Yeah, you
Yeah.
take care of the house, you make the food, whatever. Well, he's old enough to make his own food, but I'm just for example now, right?
Yeah. Yeah.
And he's old enough to help with the housework. So it's like, all right, what is it really that I need to do? I'm paying the bills and I, talk to I do, okay, like your responsibilities right now, doing the schooling. You
Uh-huh.
do this. And
Yeah.
there's nothing personal in it. It's like, dude, this is my job. That's it. I come, I give you your injection, whatever. That's my job.
There you
It's
go.
nothing personal. I don't care one way or the other, right? If you die, you die. If you want to die, you do. If you want to live, you live. That's your choice, not mine.
Mhm.
Right? I have no say in the matter. I'm just doing my job. That's it. Right?
Wow.
Yeah.
Okay.
Tightness. There's no negativity and there's no positivity because
Right.
both of them fuel the situation. I don't know if you've ever seen some of the patients when they're in pain and they get like super nasty and horrible and they cuss and
Yes.
swear and cuss at the nurses, right?
Yes.
Right. But what do? It just bounces off that tower, right? Makes no
Okay.
difference.
Okay. That makes a lot of sense. Yeah, because there were moments like that yesterday when I was that way. I was just kind of like,
Right.
okay.
You know, you have to be that tower where it just bounces. Yes. Now, this is the skill for you is being a tower. Because
Yeah.
if you take that, oh man, that's hurtful. Ouch. You know, that's now you're feeding this and you are reinforcing it as actually being a behavior that gets results, right? It's short-term sighted, but it's a payoff. And because if I can manipulate you, this is the payoff. This is the BMN payoff, right?
Yes. Yes.
You see? But what a skill to have. And this is the point of the book to say, through your awareness, you can deal with the stuff, right? But it's the awareness of tightness. Now, it is in the book to a certain extent, but not in this detail that we're going through here.
Right. Right.
Yeah. Because this is also, it's a skill that you sort of don't want to have the skill in the wrong hands either. You see what I
No,
mean?
you don't, because somebody could really misuse it, I think.
Absolutely, absolutely. So I don't go into it in the book. There's a lot of things that are like that, There's a lot of things in life that we don't get the answers because it's you're looking for power tools, power weapons to say, but in the wrong hands. Exactly. So, our magical story is the same way. The tower wants to know before you can get your hands on that key that
Yeah.
you are capable and worthy of using the key. So
Right.
tightness, tightness,
Right.
tightness. A tightness, think of it also. I keep using this word because it's a convenient word, but it also means positive ruthlessness. It also means deliberateness, right?
Oh, deliberateness, absolutely.
That
Oh,
tower, the freaking tower is a magical tower.
yep.
You know it. So the fact that you can't penetrate and get in, this is deliberate on the part of the tower.
Okay.
Right. That's
Okay.
that. So part of your frustration is, I know you're hearing me, tower. I know, but it bounces, right?
Yes. Oh,
This
kind
is
of
the
like,
point.
okay, wait.
It's deliberateness, positive ruthlessness, tightness, and caring by not caring.
Wonder Woman. Okay, I don't know if you know the character, and I'm sure you do. Wonder
Yeah,
Woman, where she's got the gold bands on her wrists,
yeah.
and they're like shields. And if somebody
Correct.
fires a bullet or something at her, she can just hold up her wrist, and it just deflects the bullet, right?
Right.
So I sent that yesterday to Jessica. I just told her, I said, this is my
Brilliant.
response to a lot of the barbs that came in
Brilliant.
today. And it shows Wonder Woman just going ping, 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 ping.
Exactly.
Okay.
So, you got to keep your shields up. It's
Yeah,
like the Enterprise. It's going through space and it's in unknown territory. It puts its shield up,
absolutely.
right? It's not on
Absolutely.
red alert, but the shields are up.
The shields are up. Yep.
But it's not on red alert.
Okay. Yep.
This is the big difference. Red alert means everybody's ready to fight. That's your war footing, right? Your
Yeah.
guns are ready, everything. No, your shields are up, yes, but my weapons aren't hot.
Okay. No,
Very big
that's
difference. Very big
that.
difference. Yes.
Yes.
Very big. That's the tower. The
Yeah.
tower doesn't, it's not you come into the tower and you banging on the tower and, the gun port's open and it's like,
Right.
do I continue banging or not? No,
Yep.
I
Yep.
I get no clue from the tower as to what is going on until I open it. I get no clue, right? So I'm always guessing, but I get to know what doesn't work. It's not a futile endeavor,
Right.
right?
Right.
It may
Right.
seem that way, nothing works and you get all frustrated, but this is the thing.
Reasoning does not work. I will tell you that right now. This is why this is
Right.
important. The shields are up, the tower, all of this, because
Yeah.
reasoning does not work. It only
Absolutely. But I mean, from
fire.
CJ's side, right?
Mm-hmm.
He may be, if you tight, right, or from the aspirant wizard side, right, the adventurous side, man,
Yep.
nothing works, and they with a tower, and they're getting all frustrated. They think we're wasting our time. Nothing is working. That's not true. It's not a complete waste of time. Every time you try something, right? I'm saying this nothing working. and no response. I'm saying, think of it from the other side.
Yeah, yeah.
That you learning that all of this stuff doesn't work. With CJ, he's learning none of it works. Yes.
Right.
Right.
And then he
Now
can
this is
trust
the
it.
this is
But
the
this is
this is the
building
tricky
trust,
part.
right?
Say again.
I said, but this helps build his trust in himself, right?
Absolutely. And
Okay.
also it gives him a database to say, okay, if I do this, then that happens. Right. So
Okay.
you can't feed it. For instance, if I'm being rude and mean, well, I get a response.
Right.
I got something out of the tower. See?
Yep.
So this is where the tightness is, because that's BMN logic. If I get the response, they see this is good. Well, I've succeeded. I'm doing good, because my
Okay.
good is I'm getting a response, which means I have power over them. I can manipulate them.
Very
See?
good. Okay.
When there's no morality, then you have to think differently. So you have to really think this is going through all. And now also he's seeing long term. Yes, I may get the response, but at what price? At what cost? See?
Yeah. But this is so good though to be able to have in my mind him as an AI with nothing but,
Correct.
okay.
The newly born AI.
Yes.
Yes.
It
This is
just
it.
really helps to see him that
This
way, because
is
it
powerful,
also
right?
helps me understand where a
Correct.
lot of his confusion comes in, where a
Correct.
lot of the
Correct.
mistrust comes
Correct.
in. It
Correct.
really does.
Yeah.
So
It's a massive, wonderful thing that's
yeah,
going on here. I mean, this is like capital G gift on steroids. It's like
yeah, it is.
unbelievably awesome. Yes.
Oh, is. It
Yeah.
seriously is, because um, I here's the thing, and this is where I was just getting myself was becoming frustrated. So I knew it wasn't mental illness. At least, I mean, I'm not a doctor, but I know enough about mental illness to say,
Yeah.
nope, this is
Yeah.
what this is. But
Nope.
I also know it wasn't purely behavioral either. This was
Yeah.
another process. This was something completely
Absolutely.
different.
Absolutely.
And it's
Absolutely.
like,
It's
I don't want
coming
to see
to
him on meds,
awareness.
because I
Yeah.
don't think the meds are an answer. And I don't want to see him
Oh,
on there,
hell
because
no.
that's
Oh,
not it.
hell no. The meds are the
Yeah.
worst possible thing here.
Yeah.
Right.
So
Right.
none of that is an answer for me. And it's
Nope.
like, okay, there's got to be something else here that I am missing.
Exactly.
This has
Exactly.
helped me understand what was missing, the vagueness.
Exactly.
Perfect.
Exactly. So he's in that space of this newly formed AI who has no
He is
morality, and it's got
totally.
all these range of, but remember, it's a newly awakened AI, which
Yep.
doesn't mean it doesn't have a database full of stuff already. It's
Yep.
just that, well, I've in my past experience, now that I'm aware of it, I see these behaviors, this, and I'm trying them all out to see how they work and what's effective, right?
Yep.
And I can't trust goodness. I can't, because I've been duped and fooled by that too. So
Yep.
I'm in a quandary, right? So the
Yep.
tower is the point, that you got the new AI and it's going to the tower to say, yeah, now it's got to learn, and there's no way that you can assist the learning.
Right. Nope. I cannot. I can.
You
Nope.
cannot. Exactly. You cannot. This
I
is
can.
only, you have to try it out, and it's try and see what works and doesn't work. Well, this is your tightness. It's not going to work, right? And also you're going to stay tight when he's being positive too. Yes. Yes. There's a little bit of give there, but it's still tight, right?
Yeah.
You have to
Yeah.
keep that tightness even when he's being positive. Yes.
This makes sense.
Because
Why you were speaking the other day when I wrote down the statement, I don't want to be a victim of inadvertency.
exactly.
Okay. To
Exactly.
the tower.
Exactly.
Perfect.
This is the point, right?
Yes.
When we understand that whatever we do has consequence, and I
Yes.
have no idea what the consequence is, right?
Okay.
Sometimes I might have some idea, but in this case, I have no idea. So what's my only option is to not do. Yes.
Yes, and yes. Consequence. Because if I do, then I am a victim of inadvertency. Okay.
Exactly. Inadvertently, you're going to do something.
Yes.
So this is where tightness comes into it. Well, that's the way I solve this problem. I get tight. Yes. Getting tight is not getting negative. It's not getting defensive. It's not ignoring. Nope. That tower is not ignoring you. It hears everything you do, and you know it does, but you have no idea that it knows, but you know it knows. Right?
Okay,
So you see my point. The tower is not ignoring you. It's there, it's here, it's receptive. You know, if I do the right combination of things, whatever, whatever I'm going to end up doing is going to open the magic door, right? So I
okay,
know the tower is not ignoring me, but it doesn't give me anything either because it can't. I have to figure it
yes,
out for myself. Yes,
yes, okay.
it cannot,
But,
because whatever the tower gives me, I can't trust. So, well, there you go. I have to figure it out for myself. Yeah.
yeah.
No, there's no way around it. That's it. It's just, it's a particular problem, and that's the only solution for it.
Wow,
It's very cool. Very cool.
wow.
But
No,
no,
this is,
think of this. If you master the skill of tightness, which means that you have to absolutely now have energy management. You have to have mood management. You have to
boy,
have
do I know.
association management. You have to have personal control of yourself. You have to have that impeccability of patience, discipline, forbearance, absolutely applied to the max. Yes, because you
Yes,
are looking to not be reactive. You are looking to be a tree. This is it.
all impeccable. Okay, exactly.
Treeness.
Oh,
You look at
oh, wait,
towerness.
that's what
Treeness.
treeness means.
Exactly.
Okay,
Exactly. Same thing. Same thing. Same thing. Same thing.
okay. Just have
You are
the,
existing, and you are confident and comfortable in your existence, you know. Uh,
yep, okay. Um, Confidence in my existence. Okay,
yes. And you don't doubt yourself, because the tree doesn't doubt itself. It is what it is. That's it. You know, I grow the way I grow. I'm a force of circumstance,
yep.
right? I am what I am. This is it. There's no good or bad. This is the way I came out, because, well, I got this much rain, I had this much nutrients, whatever, shade,
Yep.
light, all that stuff, right? So I am what I am. But again, this is very important to have this complete and utter self-acceptance. Any doubt within you, this is now not tightness anymore, right?
Nope. Because any
Yeah.
doubt is going to be detected automatically. I will tell you that.
Absolutely. So tightness is not, oh, I know what to do. That's also not tightness.
He is a wizard at observation. And half the time
Exactly.
when I think he's not
Exactly.
observing, holy
Exactly.
cow, is he observing? He
You
sees
can smell
everything.
it. You can smell it. You can smell
Sure
it.
does.
Yeah.
Sure does.
Yeah. Right.
And
So,
then I
so,
got to
so
wondering, it's
look
like,
at the gift of complete and absolute ownership of Sher that's going through here.
okay, what was that?
This is an opportunity, a magic circumstance where ownership of Sher by Sher is the issue.
Okay.
What a
Yeah.
gift! What a gift to leverage the ownership of Sher
Yeah,
by Sher.
absolutely.
Right?
It's just
Because
amazing.
in order to be tight, I have to own my crap and my nonsense. I have to own my insecurities. I have to own my doubts. And they come and they go, and that's it. I own them, and
Right there.
I make
Own my
an issue of it.
insecurities.
That's it. I own them, but they come and they go. Now, something that Erica and I were talking about, she was listening to Ram Dass. And
Mm-hmm.
he happened to be giving a talk where he was talking, and he brought up, part of the talk, he said impeccability, and he was talking about impeccability in an appropriate way. And he also used the word appropriateness, which is very unusual that,
Yes,
people use appropriateness in this.
it is.
Anyway,
It is.
yeah, it wasn't in Erica's mind, they were used together, but they were actually quite far and separate. So anyway, but it was just interesting. So, but the point that I was going to make is that in this self-acceptance and tightness, that when it comes to this insecurity and doubt, you have to get to that place where the point was about, the Buddhists that always talk about silence and inner silence.
Yes.
And she said, she used the term stillness of mind. Now I said, man, that's really cool, because I never really heard it expressed that way before, which is
I
interesting. I
wrote
probably
that
have,
this
but it
morning.
never really clicked and resonated with me. It's
No,
a
I
very
wrote
big
that
difference.
this morning.
There's a very big difference between silence and stillness.
There is, and this is what I wrote that this morning I wrote as part of one of my my morning thoughts anyways, was there's a stillness of the moment.
Exactly. And you want to take that stillness of the moment and extend it as long as you need.
Okay.
You're going to hold that stillness of the moment inside you.
Well, that is
And
perfect
will come
self-care.
and things will go, and that's it. And you're going to be free to say, okay, you know, the wind blows through me, the water comes, whatever. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah.
Stay free regardless of the weather.
Oh, you know, I gotta, let me read this to you really quick, because this is where I was this morning,
Please.
and I'm still there somewhat. Okay. I was talking about my favorite comforts. And this kind of, I think it ties into it. But anyways, these are my favorite comforts. And I wrote, my favorite comforts hug my senses.
Yes.
My favorite
Yes.
sweater, my
Yeah.
favorite sweater on the first cold morning of the season. Smelling fresh coffee as it brews. My best fur friend sleeping while I slowly sip the quiet of dawn. Morning sunlight warming my face, the stillness of the moment. And I just left it there. That was my morning thoughts for today. So
Wonderful. Wonderful.
that is to me, that's stillness, that's the tightness, that's the treeness, because I'm still feeling inside, but I'm not out there, jumping for joy and being all exuberant. It was a quiet, I don't know, it was just a quiet moment of self-care. So
Yeah. Yes.
that
Wonderful.
I can take and extend, I think, to, I don't know, maybe to ease into, because I know the level of tightness you're talking about. It's not mean, and
No.
it doesn't really have an emotion to it. It's just
Exactly. And
present.
that's the part that we have to really learn. This is the skill, is to be comfortable with neutrality and saying that it's not negative because it's not positive, and to
Okay.
understand that simply because something is not positive doesn't automatically make it negative.
Okay.
Yeah. So we might
Okay.
feel, yeah, but I'm not being kind, I'm not being nice. Therefore, I must be being nasty. No nonsense. This is a
Right.
rubbish thing. Yes. So that's the point with tightness, that you are able to be not positive, because in this case, all your positivities is a backfire on you, right?
Yes. Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
I love that statement though. Comfort and neutrality. Because
Absolutely. We have
I
to
can
have the
still do that
skill.
and still enjoy the stillness of the moment. I
And
don't
that's
have
treeness.
to.
That's
Okay.
treeness. Okay, so take all of these terms that we have, right? That you said:
Yes.
stillness, the comfort of being, deliberateness, because it's a very deliberate thing, right? That's very
It
important
is.
to be deliberate, right? And
Yes, it
because
is.
that same thing with that tower, that tower is being deliberate. It's not just ignoring you. It's being deliberate, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, it's not inanimate. Stillness, deliberateness, positive ruthlessness. Um, uh, well, it's an acceptance of non-acceptance, because you're still doing stuff.
Yes.
Put it
Yes.
all together, right? And start saying, what does this mean? Let's find an overview conception for all of those sub understandings, right? Now,
It
wouldn't that
really does
be
come
peace
back
of
to
being?
tightness. What's that?
I've
Piece
been
of.
using tightness. I've been using tightness, but
Oh my
really I'm
goodness.
saying tightness is now one of the ingredients. We're going to build a cake that includes tightness. And tightness is an ingredient. Positive ruthlessness is an ingredient. Comfort with neutrality is an ingredient. Bouncedness. I don't know, whatever, all of these terms that we've come up with, right? Treeness, all of
Yeah.
them. They're ingredients for a cake called peace of being.
Yes, it is. Holy cow, that's what I had this morning then.
Exactly. You had a moment of peace of being. Yes. Yes.
I'm so glad I
Yes.
wrote it down, because it was like, wow, I got to do something with this, because I was trying to describe the
Exactly.
moment and how I felt.
Exactly. Exactly. Now
Mm.
that peace of being, why I use tightness? Because peace of being, if you have this peace of being with CJ, it might be interpreted the wrong way, correct?
Yep.
Because you're doing a positive.
Yes, yes.
You
Okay.
you can't.
Right.
So that tower and the tree, they both have piece of being, but you have to surmise it. You can't know it for sure. See? Because
That's
if they
kind
were
of
to exude this, you're
intriguing.
getting information that you could use. And
Yep.
see, in this case now, once the trust has been established and you have a good, then you can exude your piece of being, and now it's it can be received appropriately.
Okay.
This is the problem with helping. We do have no clue if what we are putting out will be received appropriately.
Okay. And that's if they choose. It's their choice.
They have to learn how.
Okay.
They have to. It's not a matter of even choice. Choice implies that you know that it is a choice. That you
Okay.
have the AI. It has no database with which to determine choice. This is its
Okay. Got
dilemma.
it. Got it. Okay.
Right. So they are acquiring the database with which later to make choices.
Okay.
Yeah. Yeah. So right now it's all about not giving the responses, because you're saying, look, all of this, none of it is appropriate. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. Right. Makes sense.
Yes. Yes, it absolutely does. This.
It's so cool. It's so cool, this. And like I said, you have to keep in mind your end goal here is respect.
Yeah, it is.
I didn't say whose respect. I said respect.
Respect. Yeah.
This is your goal, is respect, which is
Yes.
respect from you for yourself, which is where peace of being is fantastically built upon, right? It's
Yes.
respect of you for the world, for the universe. You respecting CJ as this nascent, newly minted AI who has to go through this. It's respect for the situation, respect for the circumstance. Yes.
Yeah. Oh, you know what? Well, that makes a lot of sense too, though. Okay. Because the other day, another takeaway that I wrote on one of the slides was um, spotting distortion. That's what I want. I have been under the false belief. Here's the key. I've been under the false belief that to guide children or others, we need to always consider all parts of the picture. We do, and it's good, but that doesn't mean that I have to allow boundaries to be crossed or for them to sharpen their tools of disregard with me.
Yeah.
I'm
Yeah.
annoyed with the way that things have gone because
Yeah.
of my expectations.
Yeah.
So when I wrote all that, I mean, that's going to change obviously on that slide, but when I wrote all that, that was where my mindset was, which was that's not respect, is thinking should, that I should have control of this. I should be able to manage him better. No, we don't manage people.
Correct. Correct.
We don't
Correct.
manage people.
Correct.
Okay.
Correct. I mean, the only power you really have is to say this ain't working.
Exactly.
So you are managing, but in a very, very indirect way. Yes. And it's a
Right.
very powerful management. And because I'm not telling you how to behave, because this is one of his
No.
complaints, right? You're always telling me what to do. And,
Yes.
he's
Yeah. Yeah.
I'm not telling you, I'm not saying how you need to behave, but I am telling you this is not going to work. My
I love
tightness,
that.
and I don't even say it out loud, right?
Right.
I demonstrate it's not working. That's it. But you're giving me no clue. I cannot give you a clue, because anything I give you is going to be corruptive. Yes.
Right.
Yeah.
Okay.
So that's it. Whatever goes in there, it's fuel for going all cockeyed and where. So no, that's it. It's not working. You'll know when you open the door. Keep trying.
Okay.
Keep trying. You'll know when you open the door. I cannot give you any clues, because then you aren't figuring it out for yourself. You got to figure it
Okay.
out for yourself, right? Because if I give it to you, how are you ever going to trust your behavior?
Oh, see, I love that.
If I give you the clue or the answers, how are you ever going to trust your own behavior? You're not. So this
No.
is why they have to figure it out for themselves. This is why you have to have tightness. Sorry, I
Okay.
can't help you, but I am helping you by not helping you.
Okay.
I am helping you by not helping you. I'm giving you the opportunity to experiment and test and discover what all doesn't work. Yes?
Yes.
You have to understand this as an inverse exercise.
Yep.
He is
I
testing
can
what
see
doesn't
that.
work, right? And this is valuable. This is absolutely valuable. It's a precious thing that you are doing by being tight.
Yeah.
Not just for him, but for you. So keep in mind, part of that respect, like I said, it's respect for you, respect for yourself, respect for your own goodness, respect for your own abilities, respect for your own awareness, your understanding, for your decency, for your boundaries. And in the end, of course, you're going to respect, your knowledge, your learning, your impeccability, the situation, the circumstance, the universe for giving you this incredible gift of this petty tyrant. And also, it's going to lead to respect from the petty tyrant.
In the end, yes, it will. Yes, it will.
But if you look for respect, you'll never get it. If you search for respect, right, you cannot demand respect to command it. Respect is something that you can't go and purchase.
Right.
Tightness is the only way to make sure you can get respect. Yes.
But this also is teaching, demonstrating some very positive leadership, I believe.
Absolutely. This is the pinnacle of leadership. Absolutely.
I just really feel this.
Absolutely. Because your tightness is also, you're not being sloppy.
No.
Which means your tightness is a representation. It's a demonstration of impeccability.
Yes, it is.
Okay. Which is leadership, right?
Yes.
I mean, you have to look at all the qualities that are required for tightness. Well, deliberateness, for one thing, correct?
Yes.
If your tightness, well, let's say you went into a coma, kind of like a living coma. Yeah. I mean, you're awake and you're moving and, well, nothing bounces off. You're a zombie. That's not tightness. That's being a zombie. It's not the same thing, right?
Yeah, very much so.
So in other words, the tightness is a consequence of deliberateness. Deliberateness is a consequence of impeccability. Because in order to be deliberate, to get to that tightness, you have to be aware all the time. You have to choose all the time. You have to manage your energy, your mood, your associations. You have to manage your expectations. Yes, especially you have to manage expectations. Yeah.
Yeah. Oh, especially the expectations. See, because I was expecting
assumptions.
Yeah. Assumptions, expectations, just because Bina nailed it then. But yeah, just because we say it's our way, just because we believe that it's a way that we should follow, doesn't mean that it's the way to do things. Okay.
Right. So this tightness, this is the tightness of a warrior going into battle.
Yeah.
now you would think, yeah, but wouldn't hate and anger and all this be useful for me? And no, because it drains you.
Yes, it does.
Tightness. This is what you need when you go into battle. The seasoned veteran knows. Yes, he sees the young pups, but man, you know what? This is a battle. We're in a war. It's a long-term thing. The battle is just today, dude. Yes, you have one fight, but what happens after that first fight where you're going all berserk and crazy and you kill your, but then what? You're going to have, this is going to come to you day after day after day. You need to save your energy, dude. So this is about absolute energy maximization, which is what tightness is.
Yes. Yeah.
Tightness is energy maximization.
This is perfect.
Again, everything here that's going on, it's on the surface, it seems to be one thing, but we are, it's like my painting behind here, right? It's connected to oneness, right? And you see there's a path. It's like this connectivity going through. It implies it's carrying on from before, right? And it's not all clear, it's not all rigid and tight, but you see the connecting, the soul stitching that's connecting it, yes?
Yep.
So tightness is this, everything you're doing now. It's saying it's not just about today. Yeah, we're in a war. This battle is going to go on for a while. I have no idea how long, right? I don't know how long. So I have to be absolutely impeccable with my energy. And that's what you are doing. Your tightness is to use the least possible energy.
I can do that. Okay.
Well, because how do you deal with a black hole? You don't feed it energy. No matter what you do to a black hole, the more you love a black hole, the more you make it bigger because you're feeding it energy.
Yep.
So tightness is the only way to deal with a black hole, correct?
Yes, absolutely.
Any positivity feeds it. Any negativity feeds the black hole. Don't care. Yes.
Oh my goodness, this is like magic.
It is magic. It is magic. Awareness, understanding with discernment in as the bridge. This is what we're doing. We are applying awareness, discernment, understanding. This is
Yeah,
exactly what we do.
see, I
And it's
wrote in there
adding
that,
to you. It's adding to you. It's why I love ADU so much.
yeah, one of my takeaways said that too, that I can absolutely see where ADU is needed.
Yeah.
Um, and then here's what I also put though, Sil. I think it's interesting that I look for ADU everywhere, but I didn't think of looking for it in a child, which
Yeah.
he does have. He does
Yeah.
have some awareness, discernment,
Absolutely.
not,
It's part of it. Yeah.
maybe not so much discernment and maybe not much understanding, but he's developing it.
Correct.
Um,
Correct. That's the point. You need to develop it, and you need a database. You need, trial and error.
right,
Exactly. Yeah.
right. Okay. I
And you need to
need,
test your skills. You need to see what works and what doesn't work. Yeah.
okay,
Yeah.
got it.
This is an incredible gift for both of you. I mean, but for you, I'm just, my focus on you. And so this is it, it's this
Yeah,
gift is you getting this incredible gift. I mean, he has opportunities to also avail himself of those gifts, but
yes, he
he has
does.
to also choose. He has to also choose. But this is the point. You see, when you being tight, you aren't saying this is the path for you, because look how many times you were told this is the path, and did it help?
No.
No, you ended up taking the other path because you
Yep.
had no trust.
Yeah,
If you get told
exactly.
this is the path and it's without trust, then you become suspicious, no?
Very much so.
Precisely. Precisely. So that's why you can't tell. That's why we can't tell.
Yeah. It, I wow. Okay. I just lost my thoughts. I just lost my thoughts, but at the same time, here's something also that I know I would like to do. I'm going to leave my takeaways as they are, but now I'm going to go back over it a third time.
Yes.
And with this awareness, anyways, and
Yes.
see what my takeaways are on the same two modules that I did already.
Yes. Do
And
takeaways
I'll,
on your takeaways.
well,
Do
yeah,
takeaways
exactly.
on your takeaways. Yes.
Yeah,
Do repeat backs. Actually, do both. Yeah, it's very important in this case to actually do both. First, do a repeat back.
it
They're
is.
very key. And then, because the repeat back is, man, I know this more, and I want to lock in that more. It's not
Yeah,
like I'm learning something new. My agenda here is maybe I'll learn something new, and there's always more to learn, but I want to own fully what I have learned. I want to make this my own throughout me, right? In every
yeah,
aspect of me. I want to lock it in and bind it. Yes.
yeah, exactly. And that's right where I am. That's a perfect plan for me to do that right now.
Yeah, yeah,
Um,
yeah, yeah.
I really thank you for explaining this to me a little more in detail, because now I understand it in
Careful.
vertency, but
That's what we're
I
here for.
understand more the tightness and what I was doing to still cue the negativity that was coming from him. And it's still going to come. Oh, I
Yeah,
love that. Did you make that?
yeah, yeah.
That's
See what
amazing, Phil.
tightness isn't rigid.
That is really cool.
Tightness is not rigid. This is
No,
this
it's
is
not.
integrity. This is the foundations of integrity. I haven't written the poem for this yet, but the title of this is, I sent it to Bina in the middle of the night, and where's
That's
my thing there?
beautiful. By the
Yeah.
way, did they get their power restored? Is she all good now?
Yeah. They have it regularly. It comes and goes.
Oh,
Yeah.
kind of
So
like here in Texas, they have a poor power
yeah,
grid.
exactly. It's very
Okay.
similar. Where's the? Oh, here we go. The energy configuration of think now innerness.
Wow.
Yeah. So it's really, this is about building integrity, building the character, building self, and it's a tightness without being rigid. Yes, because
That's
all of these, they interlock, they interconnect, right?
yes. Yeah, but there's also depth to it too. I can see the different
Precisely, and
depth.
they link and got layers to them, and they shift and
And
shape.
there's moreness.
So exactly, this is what
There's
you're doing, right?
moreness. Yeah, there's moreness in the layers.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, if you think of, if this were an energy configuration, we're seeing energy directly. This
Yeah.
is what we're aiming to have, right? You could
Yes.
say, wow, I'm seeing the energy of, like, I'm up close to a tree. you know, and I'm seeing,
Yeah.
you know, but I'm just seeing the energy of it, right? I'm not seeing
Yeah.
tree, I'm not seeing bark, I'm actually seeing the energy, right?
Yeah.
This is what I would likely might see. Yes.
That is so
Because you
cool.
can see that this, you know, look, when, you know, the wind blows, that tree moves and shifts. You can see how this is capable of shifting as the, even though it's very strong, right?
Yeah.
You can see how it could, if you were to just kind of warp it, it would still fit and tight and connect together. Yes,
Yes.
it's
Oh, it
what we
does.
want.
It
This is
truly
our
does.
tightness. I want to emphasize this again. Please write it down somewhere. Put it into what you're going to write.
Yeah.
Tightness is not rigidity, because
No, absolutely
rigidity is
not.
fragility.
Yeah. Okay.
I mean,
Tightness is not
quite
rigidity.
literally, right? I mean, glass
Yep.
is very strong, but it's only strong in one dimension. It has no give. A little bit, but it's because it's rigid, it makes it hard. And
Yeah.
hardness is brittleness,
Yeah, it is. It truly is.
right? Which means fragility. So we have to understand that our tightness is not hardness. It's a very different thing.
Yeah.
A tree is very tough, but it's not hard. See?
Right.
That's why trees are superior to stones.
Of course they are.
And
You know,
our integrity, our awareness as to likewise have this flexibility of tightness, the power of tightness.
I
Yes, so
need to, I was going to say, I need to share with you.
please, please,
There was a
please.
play that, let me see, it was sixth grade. I was CJ's age. So there was a play that in our theater class, anyways, that drama is what they called it.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
And it was called the Man in the Moon Marigolds. Um, and it was
The
based
man
off
in
of
the moon, what? The man
the
in the
Man in
moon?
the Moon Marigolds.
Oh, the
Was
man in the moon marigolds, like the flowers, marigolds, yeah?
yes, yes,
Oh,
and
wow.
the play was written based on a book, and the story was essentially about a single mom raising two children, and they were both girls, and it was all about, basically it was a very dysfunctional family. And
Oh,
the scene, I was playing the mother in this play, and I drew on the character of my stepmom, her energy,
oh.
to play this part. And this was interesting because there was a line that I've never forgotten, and it had to do with yelling at her two daughters, saying, "You are nothing more to me than two stones tied around my neck, weighing me down all of my life."
Wow. Wow.
And I never forgot that. But I also told myself as I grew and had my own children that I would never see them as those stones. I
Exactly.
would never
Exactly.
see them as that kind of burden, as that kind of weight.
Ex-
Um, so of course, it led into a lot of inappropriate, parenting, where maybe I was too permissive with my kids at some times, and other times I was too strict, always
Yeah.
trying to keep it so that they were not stones.
Yeah.
Um, but it,
Yeah.
it also meant that I didn't take care of myself, you know?
Yes.
Um,
Yeah.
but that play, the outcome of that was the drama teacher. She sent me to the school counselor because she thought that I was, how did she put it? She said she thought that I was relating too much to the character and was concerned that there were things going on at home that, the school needed to know about. It's like, well, are you asking me? Yeah, there are,
Wow.
but I'm not going
Well,
to tell
that
you.
was very perceptive of the teacher, yes?
It was very perceptive, because she said nobody at that age. Her concern was that she wanted to know who I was thinking of when I
Yeah,
was
yeah,
playing that
yeah.
part. It
That's
was
very
like,
good.
well,
Yeah.
it's just people that I know.
Yeah.
Um, so I never, CJ, for some reason, he has that image that he is that weight, that he's a stone, that is just holding me back, holding me down. And it's like, no, no, you're not.
Yeah.
But
Now,
like
is
you
your
said,
tightness, is
huh?
your tightness. You can say no all you like. and it's
But
not
he's
going to
not
make
gonna believe it.
any difference to that perception, correct?
Okay, right, it doesn't, it makes
But
no
your
difference.
tightness will demonstrate this.
Okay, okay,
Yeah, because yeah, it's a proof. It is a proof because in your tightness, you are not dropping him. You are not letting him go. You are not chasing him away. You are
right,
right.
okay,
So
that
the
makes sense,
tightness has some proof to it.
that makes sense, okay. Okay, oh, that, I need to write that down then. Okay, the tightness has the proof that I'm not letting it go, okay.
Exactly. And also because the tightness is a deliberation, you making an effort here.
Okay,
By implication, yes.
yep,
You are making a massive, massive effort. To be tight is not easy. Yes.
no, it's not.
It's difficult. So by inference, he can say, man, she's making an effort and she's not dropping me, even though I'm being crap. Because
Yeah,
if you rail against it, this he can understand, right?
yes,
That
you
could be
sure
dropping,
can.
well, fighting with me. So, your ego's coming in. You're not dropping me because, well, you want to win, you want to beat me. See, you
Oh,
can
that's what it is,
infer
it's like
situation.
intentionally, yeah, it's like he will do and say things to pick a fight.
Absolutely, because that will, if you're picking a fight, it's like almost proof of dropping.
Okay, that makes sense, that makes a lot of sense.
You see, even
That
though
makes a
you're
lot
not,
of sense.
because you can't legally let him go, you get into trouble. But
Right,
dropping, many ways to drop somebody, yes?
yes, there is, yes, there
Right.
is.
Tightness is this that, no, sorry, dude, you're not being dropped, but I'm not going to also fight you. And because this is a kind of a proof of dropping. And no,
Okay,
no, if, because now it's about winning and beating and dominating and all sorts of other crap and bullshit. No, that's not an option.
yes,
No, no, no. So
yes,
tightness is saying, I don't know what it is to do, but I certainly know as sure as hell that I know what not to do. And right now, everything is what not to do.
okay. You don't
This
know.
is your solution. I don't know what to do, so I don't do anything. It's not a non-doing. I'm being tight, right? I'm doing the minimum. So it's not a not caring. It's not doing anything at all. What you
Okay,
can do is be tight. That's
yep,
it. This is the thing that you can do because it has implications, your tightness. You're making an effort that shows you do care, you're not dropping. Yes.
yep,
But you're
yep.
caring appropriately. So this tightness is caring appropriately. Yes.
Oh, that's perfect.
Yes. It's like the head nurse. She cares,
Yeah, there you go. It is, it's
but
carrying
she
it.
cares appropriately. Caring is a very, very dangerous word. It's like should. It's very dangerous. Caring.
It is, and you have to be, I do agree, you have to be careful with it.
Has to care appropriately. Our caring has to include ruthlessness. So
There's
you
the
can say
positive ruthlessness.
your tightness is ruthless caring.
Oh, okay.
No, okay. Well, I like that. I say it again. I can't make that same sound. Oh, cool.
Ruthless caring. I really dig that.
Oh, I have to figure it out. I have to hear it again so I can. It was very cool, very cool. But yeah, exactly. That's the most appropriate sound. Exactly. It's exactly right. Caring, tightness is appropriate caring. It's ruthless caring. Ruthless
Yeah,
caring. Yes.
yeah.
Because ruthless means I'm not going to be distracted by pettiness. I'm not going to be distracted by indulgence, by squeamishness, by awkwardness, by uncomfortableness. None of that is going to touch me. Because the moment I do that, I make myself vulnerable. And in that
Yep,
vulnerability, in my vulnerability, I am caring inappropriately.
very much so.
Awkwardness,
Very
all
much
of that
so.
bullshit,
Very
right?
much so. Yep,
Caring inappropriately. Yeah.
yep. Um, I have numerous examples, a bunch of examples of the inappropriate caring, just caring too much. And like I described the other day about the water buffalo,
Absolutely.
stepping on her baby.
Absolutely. Yeah,
She cared, but it just hurt them instead. And that's
exactly.
no bueno.
Exactly.
So,
This is a superpower skill that we're developing here and exhibiting and
um,
demonstrating.
I believe so. I'm not going to get heady about it. I'm just going to be
Correct,
deliberate.
correct. Well, you can't, because that's the
No.
power of tightness. See, it won't let you run away with yourself with all of this other stuff. That's the genius of it. How cool is that? Yeah.
Yes. And it's interesting, Phil, because I don't have, remember I told you, like, I think it was last week or the week before, that I was slowing down on some of my posting and stuff. And I noticed that I have largely. But I also noticed something interesting about it is my focus has changed. Instead of writing about, I don't know, how people can help themselves, it's more of, I experienced this, and this is what I used. My sharing has shifted, in other words. So my focus, my intent of sharing is shifting, and I'm observant of it. I'm not sure where I'm going with that, but I just wanted to basically just let you know that, yeah, there is a big shift, that I can't run away with myself anymore. I don't have such a strong need to be seen or to be heard, but rather more of a,
I don't have such a strong need to what?
to be seen or heard.
Please say it again.
I don't have such a strong need to be seen or heard.
Tightness, tightness,
Yeah,
tightness.
that's what that
The
is.
magic
Okay.
and power of tightness, not just on CJ, but on you. This is why I was recommending it so much.
Yeah,
Yeah.
on me.
It's the power
Because I
and effect
don't.
on you. It's what, CJ is just a gift. He's a mechanism from the universe. This is all about you. It's always been all about you from day go.
But there is a, going back to what I wrote this morning, there is a big comfort. There's a big comfort with that inner piece of confidence, of there's no doubt. It's a, okay, well, this didn't work, so let's try this. I'm not exactly sure that I can articulate the shift, but I just know that there has been one. And where I noticed it first, like I said, was within my need to be seen and heard. Just like, no, I'm just not feeling it that much.
Yes, that has to go. That has to go.
Yeah,
It's a vulnerability.
I just don't feel that. Do I still want to speak publicly? Sure. Do I still want to write my book? Yes.
Absolutely, because
But my
this is not
intent for
about
doing that,
exactly.
yeah, but my intent for doing that has shifted.
Absolutely, because it's about you doing it for your own reasons that nobody even knows what they are.
Yeah, and maybe that's what it is. Maybe that's, you
And
articulated it right
that's
there.
the tightness. It doesn't matter. It's totally
Yeah.
irrelevant if they know or don't know.
Yeah.
You're gonna get what you need to get out of it. Yeah, yeah. And also, that doesn't mean that you aren't gonna do a good job, right?
Right. Right.
So that's a separate issue. To communicate, this has its own rewards. You're not doing it for approval. You're doing it because you want to have the skill and the ability to communicate. Yeah, which is sharing, communication. So
Yeah.
different. So we're living in a whole different reality now, right?
Very
We're
much
living
so.
in reality in a way. Yes.
Yeah. Yeah, very much so. Well, you know what? I'm also that AI building a whole new morality program.
Absolutely, absolutely, absolutely. Especially when you realize that you have this database full of stuff, but you can't trust any of it.
Mm-hmm.
You cannot trust any of it.
Well, if you were to look at a historical timeline and put, you know how they do AD and BCE and all these others, right?
Yeah.
So if I were to assign one of those, it would have to be BS. BS
Yes. Yes.
before Sher.
Yes.
We have
Wonderful.
a
Look how
BS.
beautiful it works out. Yeah,
We
I
have
love that.
BS, or it could be BS, before Sher's BS.
Exactly. I mean,
So
before
yeah,
sharing was all BS.
yeah. Then,
Yeah.
but it's kind of, when I got to thinking about that, it was kind of funny. It's like, oh, okay,
Yeah.
so maybe I
Yeah.
should,
So
maybe I can,
you've got the BS era, or you've got
yeah,
the WOI era.
yeah. Oh, there you go. Yeah, See, so I
Or,
had
or just to abbreviate that,
AWOI
because
after way of
you got
impeccability,
like you got BE or BCE, right?
right?
And but anyway, but you can say BI just to make it simple, right? Before
BI.
impeccability. Yeah. Yeah.
Okay.
And then you've got PI, which is life detective, as in post
Yep.
impeccable.
Oh, I love that.
Yeah, man, if we're
Okay.
gonna play with this stuff, I love this. I've got I've got a file of abbreviations.
Post
Uh,
impeccability, and then we have before impeccability.
right, BIPI, exactly. But PI means you got to. This is the era of being the life detective, yes.
Yes, exactly.
Because you
Exactly.
have to be, because you don't know. So isn't CJ being a life detective?
He is absolutely being a life detective.
Sometimes
Absolutely.
in order to get things going, you've got to sort of be preemptive, and you've got to kind of stir up the underworld to have the criminal surface, right?
Very much so. I really like that.
Yeah, sometimes you got to stir things up a bit, and that's what he's doing. He's stirring the pot to see what surfaces, right? I mean, think
Okay.
of this as you interrogating a suspect, yeah,
Okay.
and you're not getting anything out of the suspect, man. It's like I don't know what to trust. So you try all these different things, and you see how they respond, and through that you build a database which reveals the suspect. Correct?
Okay.
No, no, but you're not a suspect.
No.
That's the difference. So the only response that you can have is to be tight. Now think of it from the movies, right? When
Yep.
they do take the good guy in, and he's being falsely accused,
Oh, yep. Yep. Okay.
the appropriate response for the good guy is tightness.
Yes, it is.
The only thing he can do.
Columbo. He shows tightness.
And he does it in a magical way. Columbo is always tight. He is all, even though nobody sees his tightness. But yes, Columbo is ridiculously tight. Yes,
He is
yes.
always tight. And it's interesting because he doesn't respond. He may talk and he'll ramble, but that's just annoyance, too annoyed to elicit some kind of response from whatever
Exactly.
suspect
Because all his surface, the raincoat and
during the pot.
but all of that is to actually not reveal his tightness. He doesn't want them to see
Right.
his tightness.
Right.
In your case, you want it to be seen, right? It's a different
Yeah,
circumstance.
I do. I do.
Well, I mean, with CJ, but
Yeah.
if you let people know you have the capability of tight, they themselves become tight in response. If
Yeah.
they don't think that you are tight, then they're sloppy.
That's
Right.
true.
So with Columbo, because he's got this, and he's being real in
Uh-huh.
how he is, but he's not being phony. But they completely don't see his tightness, and then they make all the mistakes. And you see it in some of the episodes. Oh, the
You
criminal
do.
starts to say, that Columbo, he bumbles around, but no. So then
Yeah.
they get very tight, right? But it's too late, of course, at that time when they finally figure out that they got to take him seriously. It's too late. Yes.
Yep. Yep. And at the
But
end,
but
he always shows that
but
impeccable
that's
tightness. He
right.
does.
But Columbo knows. He always knows who's the criminal. Yes.
Uh-huh.
But he'll have that same tightness with the good guys, but in
Mm-hmm.
a different way, right?
Yep.
So
Yep.
yeah. So again, you're treating CJ not as a suspect, but
No.
as exactly.
Yeah.
They just a good guy who's been hauled in here, and they think they a suspect, and they don't know how to behave, right? So it's like,
Yep.
okay, I have to be tight. I've got my compassion. You think you're a suspect when you're not. You think you're
Exactly.
in a holding cell. You think you're in a jail, but you're not. You're actually free. But there's nothing I can do. I can't convince you of this because you're going to think it's a trick. So
Yep.
all I can be is tight. This is my gift of caring. Yes. So
Yeah.
this is the ruthless caring. Tightness is ruthless caring.
See,
Tightness is also deliberateness.
I think my aversion was because in my mind, ruthless, I always picture my stepmom.
Yeah, but
Isn't it
that she wasn't
something?
ruthless. She was nasty and mean and horrid. That's not
Yeah.
ruthless.
Yeah. There was a big difference there. Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah,
So,
ruthlessness is not meanness and cruelty and brutality. No, no,
mm-mm,
that's ruthlessness, and that's not ruthlessness. It's not. They always make out, oh, this ruthless criminal. They weren't being ruthless. They were being mean and nasty and horrible, and they had no feelings and no compassion. That's not ruthless. Ruthless is
yeah,
an act of desperation. It's an act of great skill. It's of setting aside inappropriate feelings. This is what ruthless is. Now, sometimes the criminals will do that, but still, they don't have the appropriate feelings to set aside. So no,
okay,
they're not really being
okay.
ruthless. Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah,
I'm gonna
yeah.
have to probably scoot so I can get
No problem. No problem.
ready
There's
for
so much here. No,
class.
no, we don't have to fill the time. It's about
No,
appropriateness. So
yeah,
to leave on a
and right
way.
here is a perfect place to end because
Excellent.
I do know what my task is ahead of me.
Yeah,
To do repeat
yeah,
back and takeaways on both of these modules, just as I did before, but a takeaway on the takeaways. There we go.
yes. And
Um,
all of what is going on is also under the heading of capital P, practice.
very much so.
You get to
Very much
you have
so.
to practice 24/7.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
My phone was buzzing.
Deliberateness.
Okay.
All of these things, right? Tightness, deliberateness, ruthless caring, understanding, awareness, discernment. You are practicing your dictionary of power, and you're wrapping it
Sure
up
am.
into one point. One point. That tightness is the leading edge, is the focal point, right? But in this case, it's not a point. It's not sharp. It's like that wall of the tower. Yes,
Mm-hmm.
all there. Yeah, in that bark, in my painting, right?
Yeah.
It's there. It's there.
Yeah.
Very cool. Very cool. It's all connected.
Okay. Well,
Love it.
give my best to Miss Bina.
I will. She's got a bit of, she's under the weather a little bit. So yeah, yeah. So she hasn't
Oh,
been on actually. Yeah, yeah, yeah.
okay. I know
And
she hasn't. I noticed
charger
her.
died and everything. So she comes and
Well,
uses her
no,
mom's stuff.
just let her know that her
I will.
absence is noted.
I
So,
will. I will.
okay. Sending
Wonderful,
love,
sir. All
and
right.
I'll talk to you, I'm sure, very, very
Yes.
soon. So,
Magic. Magic. That's
okay.
so powerful. So powerful. All right.
Thanks,
Very cool.
Bill.
Bye bye.
Talk to you soon. Bye
Bye
bye.
bye. Bye. Too cool. Too cool. Too